Hello and welcome to Who Are You? This is a reasonably well done sci-fi watchcast hosted by two former strangers, now friends, who are currently making their way through 2004's Battlestar Galactica. I'm Xhafer,
And I'm Laura.
and it's a season premiere. You know what that means. We are once again joined by our friend.
I'm setting the clock to 33 minutes. It is Ben.
Hey, guy.
Hey. I am so excited to be back, especially for this episode, because who gets a lot to do this episode?
Gata.
My guy who had to remind everybody who exists, Captain Kelly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely had a wait, who is this guy kind of moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh yes, it's the guy I had to remind everybody exists last time. That is one of my favorite things about Battlestar Galactica is people will disappear for 20 episodes and then come back and it's like, all right. Like,
I was
they're
here
still
on the
getting
fleet
paid.
the whole time.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just doing some stuff. Yeah.
I was over here to the right.
Yeah, it's a little harder, I think, in this setting to like write people out for a bit than JMS had on Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Like he could just send people off to Minbar, but there's like no Minbar you can
There's no
just hang out on when you're
conferences to go to.
when you're running for your life.
To be fair, JMS didn't always do that. Like, Natoth, we don't find out what happened to Natoth until
true.
retroactively, like, oh, she was captured. It's like, and Jakar never mentioned it?
Yeah. He seems like the kind of guy who might have been super upset about that.
Right.
It seems like one of his, it would have been high up on his list of grievances to Londo every time
Sure.
he runs into him.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. No. Okay. So it's been a minute, Xhafer,
Yeah.
since you and I recorded
Yes.
the last episode. So I need a little table setting again. There was lots of Christing in the last episode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Starbuck went back to Caprica. She's still on Caprica.
Mhm.
Had 6 cuffs.
60 cuffs. I like that. That one, could you see it like processing on my face? You've been waiting to use that, haven't you?
No, actually, I came up with it in the moment, and I was very proud of myself.
I'm very proud of you too then. Yeah.
It can go in the book.
Okay, so we had 60 cuffs and also Sharon and Hilo. We've got Gaius, Chief Tyrrell, Crashdown, Callie,
Mm-hmm.
and some guy who's gonna kick it in this episode.
Yeah, two guys.
Stuck.
Cyanus? Cyanicus?
Sisinus
Sisinus, yeah.
Cyanus, that's
and
it.
Tarn.
Tarn, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who
Yeah.
has the galaxy's only surviving jar of hair grease.
Yeah, yeah. And they're all on Cobol and
Yes.
trying to survive that. Sisinus was the guy who tried to take the fall for Chief Tyrrell and
Yes.
Boomer,
Yes.
right? Yes. Okay. So
Mhm.
I imagine Chief Tyrrell's going to have some feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his main mode, is feelings.
feelings.
hmm Good feelings, bad feelings, all feelings. He's in touch with his feelings, but he also needs therapy.
Yeah, he's made the first step, but not the other steps.
Yeah. Yeah. He goes to therapy like
Yeah.
3 times and he's like cured because he can talk about his feelings now. So that means
Oh,
that as a
oops.
man, he is 100% okay and no longer requires to talk or do any further introspection outside
Okay.
of forcibly sharing his feelings with everyone. Sorry, Ben, did you have something to say?
No, that's what podcasts are for, Jafar.
Why do you think so many middle-aged white men have podcasts? It costs the same as
Oh.
therapy.
That's not true.
Depends on your
I mean,
insurance and your microphone.
It depends on your insurance plan. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got that. Then we've got our showdown between Adama and Roslyn. That has ended. Kind of.
It's been interrupted for sure by totally other thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. Had to remind myself where we're at.
Yeah.
And then
Excellent.
Boomer comes back. Successful mission. Shots, 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 shots. With Adama. Shots, shots,
Yeah.
shots, 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 shots.
Which is right where we open up, right where we left off.
Literally on our Christ pose.
Yeah.
Yes. Coming back.
It's like it was built for streaming, despite it not being built for streaming.
And I will say, I enjoyed watching this with you guys, but I had to instinctively be like, oh, I don't have to skip the recap, because I was like diving for the skip recap button, because last time on, we're not allowed
No
to watch
recaps
it.
allowed.
Yeah. Force
like,
of habit.
Oh, I can watch this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote last time on, this shit is fucking crazy. They must
Mm-hmm.
have cut it together very, very well.
Yeah. They did a pretty good job. And, you didn't have to wait a year. So enjoy that.
Yeah. I take great relief in not having to wait a year for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, we'll see. Maybe we'll do another show right in between season. What is it? I'm
4 and 4.5.
4 and 4.5. I think was the giant last, like the big twist.
Dang.
So maybe and then they took a year off there. So more than I think, because there was a writer's strike in there. So
Ouch.
yeah,
That's rough.
maybe
That's real rough.
yeah, maybe we'll just do a whole nother show and then come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and watch Heroes and talk about which show came back from the writer's strike better.
I don't want to do that.
I think it's not Heroes. I
It's
did
not
watch
Heroes.
that
It's
one.
not Heroes. No.
Yeah.
All right. So Ty is flashing back here. He does this throughout the whole episode, but
Oh, this is
starts
hysterical.
to his history with Adama as he orders Boomer to be taken to the brig.
And we find that there is no Rogaine in the colonies.
We got to talk about the flashbacks because the wigs and mustaches are killing it.
It's awful. I have no idea how old these people are supposed to be.
I wish we knew how old they were supposed to be. Like,
I love it.
I
It's
literally
hysterical.
in the episode of Last Time On that aired the week or two before this when we did our April Fool's prank, I go on a whole tangent about how I would rather them just use old actors and not acknowledge the age gap than do that stupid de-aging CGI that always takes me out of it, or recast. And I found myself eating my words fucking immediately upon watching this scene because I have no idea how old these people are supposed to be.
That said, the other side of that is they do that in the flashback episode of It's Always Sunny, where they have 70-year-old Danny DeVito playing 19-year-old Frank Reynolds, and it's the funniest damn thing you've ever seen.
No, I have to believe that the two actors were cracking up over their mustache and wigs.
Oh, they
like
had to have been.
they almost have like a little twinkle in their eye. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know this is stupid, but let's all roll with it. Like,
I
it
hope
is
so.
great.
I will say, so I think I've mentioned it on here, and Ben, I believe you were present for it. I do an annual PowerPoint party where everyone does drunk PowerPoints,
Right.
and the 5th annual is actually upon us now. We'll get to that. I have to schedule it still, but we have someone in our friend group who is a professional stylist. And like she specializes in like hair dye and hair alteration stuff. It's a step above just like haircut stuff.
Yeah.
And she did 20 minutes on identifying wigs in TV and movies, and like how to tell if it is a good wig or a bad wig and all of this stuff. And like it was crazy, and it completely changed how I consume media.
Okay. I need you to just make yourself a little note
Okay.
right now that you need to show her that very last episode of Airwolf that had the original Airwolf team. And I need to know if Archangel is wearing a wig.
Look for a scalp. That's almost always the key sign. If there's a part in the hair, that's also another way, because it's very tough to do scalp showing parts with wigs.
Okay. Gotcha.
But we get this very nebulous flashback
Yeah.
of Adama meeting Ty, and we don't know when it is, we don't know where it is. I'm actually like, I did a lot of mental lifting trying to figure out like what the hell's going on here.
Yeah.
And it's one of those times where I'm just like, I wish they just explained something.
Yeah.
Because I know they do mystery, like, if we can go back to it later, and it's just like, no, just tell us, like, hey, the Silent War ended, and a bunch of people got fired because we don't need everybody in the army anymore, and so everybody lost their jobs, and now we're stuck on this shitty freighter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I was thinking it had to be maybe like 20 years ago. I don't know.
I mean, the Cylon War was 50 years ago.
Right.
No.
Yes.
40 or 50, right?
There's no way they're that old. I
Do
thought
they-
it was 20 years ago.
Oh, I took it as more than 20. Because, like, Lee would have been a baby. And I thought
Yeah.
Lee wasn't around when the first Cylon War happened. I don't know. I guess I don't know. And I can't Google it. So
Yeah.
here we are.
I'm 40 years.
It was 40 years between
40
the
years.
Cylon War and okay.
Yeah, they did establish it during the miniseries, didn't they?
And the war lasted 12 years. So
Okay.
the start of the war would have been 52 years ago, which is what I was thinking because it was the anniversary of Colonial Day, which was they gave us the time frame then, which is where my 50 was coming from.
Okay.
Yeah. And Colonial Day was when they all came together to
fight the
the
Cylons,
Cylons,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Ty and Adama are supposed to be older than I thought.
Yeah. I'm taking them both as like, well, I guess I'm taking Adama as older than Ty is how I'm reading him.
Well, but they would both, if they're veterans, have to be like if they were fighting the Cylon War in their 20s, they'd be 60 minimum now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of taking it that way. I was taking Adama as in his 60s.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which means
maybe Ty a couple years younger.
with having a how old do we think Apollo is?
Like 25, 30.
Yeah. Max.
Okay. So like 25, that means he had old dad.
Yeah.
Which, okay,
And
yeah.
That's a
That might
thing.
explain-
Happens
yeah.
to people all the time. Yeah, yeah.
Might explain their strenuous relationship.
If Adama is 65 and Lee is 30, then that means Adama was 35 when Lee was born.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not old dad.
Well, no, but it means like 50, in their 50s during like high school graduation, like not out playing tackle football with the kids' age. It's
Yeah.
not like old dad, like, is that your grandpa? Like, but it's just like it can lead to a more strenuous relationship.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, my dad was nigh on 40 when I was born. So,
Aaron's
Yeah.
dad was 45.
yeah.
I can't imagine.
He did get that a lot, that his parents were mistaken for his grandparents because his mom was 40.
Who shows up on the bridge? Captain Kelly.
Captain Kelly shows
He
up.
exists.
LSO Aaron Kelly here. This Ty gets a lot of decisions thrown at him very fast. He puts Lee in the brig.
Yeah.
When Kez Kelly shows up, he is acting XO to Ty's acting CO. And while this is all going on, a base star jumps in. So Ty orders the fleet to jump to the emergency rendezvous coordinates.
Uh-huh.
At this point, Lee gets put in the brig. He catches Rosalind up on the events in CIC as the fleet, then Galactica, perform their emergency jump before we waste any CGI budget on the Cylons. When Galactica jumps back in, though, the fleet isn't there. We get this great zoom out shot of the bridge just pulling out. We see Galactica. We expect to see the fleet. We expect it's just empty space.
Nothing.
Beautiful shot.
We had some important establishing information that Doc Coddle was 15 minutes away before they left.
Yeah,
And now he is more than 15 minutes away.
he is quite far away, as we'll discuss when we find out what happened.
And I want to ask you guys, who do we think has had the worst last 10 minutes?
Lee,
Because
Are you giving me options or you just want me to?
just
Pick.
general, like, Lee, like, one, Adama is shot.
yeah, but he's
Bad.
probably not conscious right now, so it's hard to have a bad time when you're not conscious.
Everybody on Galactica, we've lost the fleet. There are a few people who are like, we're going to find out, like, are wondering, is this my fault?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We've got Ty, who's suddenly like, all right, you're acting commander, your best friend was shot, and you've lost the fleet after having to arrest your best friend's son. Bad 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah,
Rosalind, who's like, I kind of did a coup, but then I backed out of the coup almost instantly, got arrested. The person who cooed me got shot.
Yep.
And so if I'd like held out for another 10 minutes, maybe I wouldn't have been cooed.
Yeah.
And then we've got poor Lee.
Yeah. I'd say Gata's having a bad time too, because he's
Gata's having a
clearly
real bad
freaking
day.
out.
He's having a bad day.
But I think Ty is very extremely aware from the second that things start going wrong when Adama gets shot that he has been failed upward at beyond his competency, beyond his comfort zone. And it
real
is
Peter
a
principled
big,
here.
big bad feeling, right? I mean, I think I'd ultimately go with Lee, but Ty's right behind because you know that
Yeah.
he knows he's not competent.
The
for
reason
this.
why I feel like Lee is having a worse time than Ty right now, I feel like Ty is in the shit deeper for sure.
But he has agency.
He has agency, and Lee has all of
Yeah.
his agency removed in the middle of this crisis that it would probably be a great person to have on hand for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lee, unfortunately, executed some agency just as the person he's like, all right, I'm going to throw everything away and I'm going to defend this person. And she immediately is just like, nah, I give up. It's like, you could have given up 20 minutes ago before we schlepped our asses in a raptor and came over here, lady.
Cut through the fucking hole.
Yeah.
Just like, God damn it, Laura. Not you, Laura. Other Laura.
I took your meaning. Yes, yes. Yeah. It's a real bad situation. Bad cold open.
Yeah.
No greatest contact to theme.
If I would ever allow my phone to play a notification again, having my text notification be Gata going, greatest contact.
That's pretty
that feels
good.
good.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never will. Vibrate for forever.
No, God, no.
Oh,
But
yeah.
After theme, we cut back to the dreamscape where Gaius is all, well, you mean metaphorically, I'm the father, right?
Right.
Because you're not real.
Like, we didn't bother with dream protection during all of the dream fucking because I didn't know dream babies was on the table. And
Right.
if dream babies is on the table, we have to have a whole other conversation.
Well, I mean, he's forgetting that in the miniseries, she was real.
Yeah. But that Caprica is dead.
Well, to him.
We never
yeah.
see her dead, but I firmly, like, we see her, like, take a nuclear blast.
Yeah. Yeah. She shields Gaius with her body.
Okay. All right.
How virile to get 6BT preggers from Dream Semen.
Is this just what he like subconsciously wants?
I don't
Or
think
this is
so.
the neurosyphilis talking.
The neurosyphilis.
That's late stage syphilis. That's what kills you. It gets to
Yeah.
your brain. And Gaius was throwing it around there.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody out of this cast or this, set of characters is gonna have that at this point, if I have to like throw a guess out there, it's our man Gaius. Yeah,
For sure.
he's pretty gross, but he starts to realize none of this is real,
Yeah.
right?
As Callie stumbles upon him mumbling.
Yeah, poor Callie. Crashdown is gonna take him to the tree line, right, to hide.
Yeah. So we hear a sound in the sky, and this bit annoys me because Crashdown is 100% correct. Hey, there's a noise. That means a landing party can be here in like 60 seconds. We gotta go.
Yeah.
But Tyrell is just like, but we gotta like look through all of our stuff. And I'm just like, why did you guys not do that in the intermediate stage between Raptor and wherever the hell you are right now? And also,
It's nebulous. We don't know how much time has passed. Yeah.
Hours.
we later see two of the worst survival backpacks I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. They're not Jansports, but they may as well be.
And
Nah.
only two people have them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are you going on like a landing supply survey mission and everybody doesn't have everything already in backpacks and like duffels. Like, why is there no duffel bag in space?
Yeah.
It just made me so mad at whoever like was the supply officer for this mission. Like, I understand you weren't planning on getting shot down.
Yeah.
Everything should be in a bag ready to go.
I mean, in this universe, I think we should always be planning on being shot down, like that being a non-zero possibility, right?
Yeah. And it's like, it's double frustrating for me because they wear these like tight tank tops and have like absolutely no storage.
Oh, yeah. We need pockets everywhere.
You
Just
need
pockets on our pockets.
Pockets on pockets on pockets, right? Like you should be
Yeah.
carrying so much shit on you when you walk off that ship. It's like, I get it for Star Trek because they just materialize whatever they need and they can move it to their
Right.
hands. Like, whatever. Like, it makes sense that Starfleet doesn't have pockets.
This is a universe where paper is still important. You need places to put shit.
Yep.
The cool girls, when we were all in Vegas last year, happened to run into some military men several times, like in the elevator. There was some sort of military conference happening at the same time. And they had like ankle pockets on their pants.
Yeah.
Like cargo pants that had pockets down at the ankle. We need those pants.
So many pockets.
I've got a new outdoor vest that has easy 20 pockets.
Hell yeah.
It's great.
You're so prepared. Well, hypothetically.
Yeah.
And like, I know these are space guns. I do not see a single bandolier anywhere. I do not see a single spare magazine anywhere. And it's
Bandoliers
just
are
like,
so cool too.
you're at
like,
war, guys.
The ammo question is one that I find myself continually asking of Battlestar Galactica. Like the size of the shells that Galactica fires and at the rate that it fires them, it probably fires a Galactica full of bullets every encounter.
Do they have like a 3D printer for bullets? Like we just put all of our spare crap in there as we're using stuff and it just 3D prints these bullets?
It's still mass. Like,
I know.
I mean, maybe.
It's made of our shit, you know.
Okay, back on Galactica. Ty has gone to his quarters to get changed, and Ellen Ty is all, but where is the fleet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot.
She helps him change into some less bloody pants, and he tells her about how the fleet makes jumps together.
Yeah.
And as he's doing this for the audience, right? Obviously.
Oh, for sure.
Like we needed to know more about the jumps in order to get from point A to point B. But I'm sitting here going, you should not be telling her this.
Well,
Like,
it's like
no.
they say they update them every hour to compensate for galactic drift, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you know how much galactic drift is?
I assumed it was a made up thing.
No, galactic drift is very real. The Milky Way galaxy, which we will use as the example here because we know these things because it's where we are and we can measure it pretty easy. How fast do you think the Milky Way galaxy is moving through the universe right now?
Real fast.
Throw out a mile per hour guess.
1,000 miles per hour.
1,000 miles.
27,000 miles.
1.3 million miles per hour
Damn.
is how fast the Milky Way is moving through the universe.
Wow. Yeah.
Which means in an hour of galactic drift not being compensated for, the fleet is 1.3 million miles away, assuming that galactic drift is a constant for Battlestar Galactica as it is for the current day Milky Way.
Well, they're looking for Earth,
Which is-
so I'm assuming they're in the Milky Way.
Well, yeah, but also there's like a bunch of other stuff that goes into, like, the Milky Way today is moving 1.3 million miles per hour, right? So there's other stuff that goes into it.
Well, yeah, and it's spinning and moving, and it's the sort of thing where it's just like,
Yeah.
if you ever invented a time machine, you'd also need a teleporter.
Which is exactly what I talked about in the Doctor Who episode, is you have to, a time machine cannot just be a time machine. like there's a couple of very specific ones that would probably still, like the ones where like you send your consciousness back instead of actually physically moving through time. Those would still probably work. The fact that you can do that means that consciousness or magic or something anyways, so whatever. But if your time machine does not also move you through space, it is fucking useless. If I were to travel
End
back
up in
in time
space.
an hour right now and be sitting in my chair where it was an hour ago, I have to travel 1.3 million miles in addition to moving an hour back in time.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck.
That makes the Futurama time machine extra fun to think about. There's a newer Futurama episode with the time machine. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No,
Yes.
I thought I could trust Ben to have
Yeah.
my back on this one.
I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
seen maybe 20 episodes of Futurama.
It's so good. It's the
Yeah,
best sci-fi
I-
TV show.
I've enjoyed every one I've watched. I've just never sat down to watch it.
Okay. We can still be friends.
Good. Hey,
We'll do a path analysis through Ben that we're still friends.
I'm just saying, we need to pick another sci-fi show after
Oh
this
yeah.
one.
True.
Maybe
True.
Futurama might be a fun choice.
I'm always down.
So then we cut back to Rosalind, who's being informed, hey, we jumped away. And she's like, but then how will Starbuck get back to us with the arrow? It's like, well, there was a base star that was going to kill us all. It's like, that doesn't matter. We need the arrow. And it's just like,
Yeah.
Laura, Rosalind, please.
I see why they're calling you a religious fanatic now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without Starbuck here to like confirm some things, it's really difficult to take Laura Rosalind seriously.
And then we get just people arguing and yelling, and we find out, principles are really, really hard to have in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
I get it. I get why people are doing what they're doing, and we get like principles versus like absolute pragmatism. And it's like, yeah, but where's it getting you?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of lack of principles in the apocalypse, like we're seeing it in that previous scene with Ellen. She's ending it trying to convince Ty that this is your moment, man. You're taking over the ship. What if Adama dies? And Ty, of course, knows he's not competent for this and really needs Adama to live.
Well, and this is part of why Ellen is great. Because she is a wonderful example of why a pure pragmatist in an apocalypse is a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. She is a nightmare.
But what does this mean for me? And it's like, how about we don't worry about that right now? This is the apocalypse. Us matters a lot more.
Yeah. So Ty, Gata, and Kelly talk solutions here in finding the fleet. The best being impossible. They can jump back and wait 12 hours for the computer to be able to do the math. I will just say that is an incredible amount of math to do in 12 hours. I know we look at Galactica's computers and go, how quaint. That is an absurd amount of math to do in 12 hours to calculate a galactic drift differential. Fucking yikes. You're talking about needing to know the mass of every solar object in 1.3 square mile, a radius of 1.3 square miles of the galaxy to be able to properly and accurately calculate that, which is absurd to have that knowledge and then to be able to math that knowledge. Fucking fuck, guys. This is
You're telling me ChatGPT won't do that for me?
fucking.
That said, you know how far away the 1.3 million? I feel like they could jump back and get close enough that they're like, all right, we're, 7 hours away.
Yeah, well, they would know where the fleet went, like, because they have the coordinates that the fleet used to jump. So if you jump back and then jump to the ones that you should have jumped to the first time, hypothetically, you'd have the couple of minutes of galactic drift to deal with, which is a bunch, you know, but it's also not 1.3 million miles.
It's also like we're at spaceship scale, you
Yeah.
know. But we then now go back to Kobol, where they are trudging, and we get break time where they hear burbs.
Burbs.
Mhm.
Those aren't burbs. Those burbs aren't real. Everyone knows burbs aren't real. Those are Cylons.
Burbs are Cylon. Well, then we hear a Tarn,
Yes.
which is also a kind of burb.
Signs of life
Yeah.
from that Tarn.
But then, so Tarn has forgotten our second med kit, and
Yeah.
so Cecynus is dying without it. And Crashdown is like, all right, Tarn, you go back for it because you screwed up. And Tyrell has to be like, all right, well, send me and Callie back along with him. And Callie is just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, so does that mean Crashdown's just here with the injured guy by himself?
And our medic.
Oh, we have a medic too.
And
Okay.
Baltar.
Yeah.
Oh, and Baltar. Right. I forgot about Baltar.
But
Because
then
he's so
the thing that
useful.
makes me so mad is they're like, all right, we're going back for the stuff. Callie, leave your backpack. And it's like, no, you're going back to all the stuff. Like, empty the backpack and then take the empty backpacks. And when you go to get the med kit, fill backpack with things. Just is what backpack is good for.
Take as much shit as you can. Grab the med pack. Grab other miscellaneous things. Don't worry about what. Just fucking grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can figure that
There's
out
not
later.
a whole lot of superfluous shit on a Raptor.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
I'm
not going to
sure-
get back and be like, oh man, this is just napkins.
Baltar, why'd you bring your vinyl collection down with you?
I believe he would do that.
Baltar, this ammo case is just full of lube. What's going on? What do you think you're going to find down here?
Yeah. Now you got me wondering if we have Cylon birds out there. If the burbs are just spies.
Well,
Cylon
birds aren't
spies.
real.
Yeah, birds aren't real.
Oh boy.
But that does lead to like a thing where this will come up later, where it's just like, okay, so when we find out what happens to what happened to Kobol,
Uh-huh.
it is at least there are plants, there is animal life.
Okay.
This is the most hospitable place they have found since all of this started.
Yeah. But
And
we
they
cannot
don't-
stay here. Yeah.
Treat it like that, where it's just like, do whatever you can to stay here.
Yeah. But I mean if the Cylons know where it is, like doesn't seem like staying here is
Yeah.
a very good option.
Yeah, there's at least been a base star around. So
Right.
safe bet that the Cylons are checking this place out as one
Yeah.
of the habitable honeypots that one could possibly settle into.
Yeah.
I think there's some stuff that we haven't gotten yet, too, about it. I think there's some prophecy stuff
yeah.
about Kobol being, like, cursed.
Yeah.
Because Adama's all like, we should settle here, and Rosalind is immediately like, what are you fucking talking about?
No, we shouldn't.
Like, it
yeah.
was never an option in her mind. So I think we get that in a future episode. Slight spoilies.
Yeah. No, it seems like we left here for a reason, right? Like
But
Yes.
birds are able to survive now, so
yeah, yeah.
humans
there are
should be able
things-
to live now.
Right. But there's something bad about this place. I definitely felt that in the vibes.
There, I mean, yes.
And then back on Caprica, our 6 is taking a Naprica.
You did prepare that one.
Yeah.
I did prepare that
Yeah.
one. And we get this weird conversation between S-Bucks and Hilo and Sharon.
We say Starbies on this podcast.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I write S-Bucks, though. It's true. That's my notation.
But just this whole, like, Hilo, like, I believe she's pregnant. And she's like, I'm with Starbies here. Like, shut up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's carrying my child. And it's like, where's a doctor? Show me a pregnancy test. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there was enough not destroyed Caprica. They could have gone to a pharmacy.
Yeah, there's a
I mean-
CVS somewhere.
Even ignoring all that, like, it's been 50 something days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might be a little trauma bonded by this experience, and you can be trauma bonded to someone who is not good for you. That's a real thing.
Hundo.
So yeah, I'm with Starbeast too. Like, I'm not sure we should totally trust this thing.
Hilo suffering from Sagittarian syndrome.
Yeah, I understood that reference.
While this is all going on, we get an all-time classic line. We hear Starbucks Raider take off.
Bitch took my ride.
Yeah. I needed a check here.
Okay.
Does Sharon have Arrow? She's got Raider. Does she have Arrow?
No.
Okay.
Starbeast has
Arrow?
the arrow.
Starbeast has the arrow.
Okay.
Sharon is with them. Right? That 6
Right.
took the Raider, not Sharon.
No, Sharon took the Raider.
Sharon took the Raider?
I'm pretty sure
6 is
Sharon
dead.
took the Raider.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
6's consciousness was being sent to another body or something, says Sharon. And then Starbeast and Hilo are arguing, and then Sharon fucks off with the Raider. Pretty sure.
Because Starbeast was pointing a gun at her. She's like,
Right.
hey, understandably, fuck this.
Self-preservation protocol activated. I mean, even if one of us is wrong, we'll find out in the next episode. I'm
Yeah.
not sure we see.
We don't
more
see any
of
more with this episode, I don't think. So
Yeah. So we've got.
our medic in Caprica's med lab gets promoted to surgeon. Field promotion to surgeon. That's totally how that works, guys.
Yeah. Super not concerning or worrisome at all for that professional individual.
Ty goes to see Boomer and I guess interrogate her and manages a question and a half before it just moves to violence.
Yeah.
But she does give a couple of interesting answers where Ty is like, who gave the order? And she's like, nobody. That's not how this works, bro. Like, I don't know. I didn't even remember doing it, man.
Yeah. I was pretty out of the whole thing. I don't know what to tell you. Interesting that as they're devolving into just violence, she asks about Adama and he says, you know, you screwed up. He's not dead. And she thanks the gods. So she's still like human enough in her meats that she's the polytheist.
Yes.
Now, Laura, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Do you think Boomer was trying to kill Adama or just shoot him?
I mean, jury's
she
out
is
for me.
right there. Shoots him twice in the belly. We know Cylon's super strong, super fast. She didn't even need a gun. She could have just snapped his neck. She could have, like, ripped his throat out and choke slammed him before anybody else could have responded.
She certainly could have had better aim. We know that the like crucial things that will knock you out the fastest are not in the belly.
Exactly.
It's suspicious for sure. I don't know if she's just a defective Cylon who was fighting her programming so hard that she missed, or if this is all part of the plan. I feel like you've got enough evidence on either side. You can argue whichever
It's
point
interesting,
is
isn't
your
it?
favorite. Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite. Yeah. She calls Ty a coward in here too.
Yeah. He loves
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not convinced you're not a coward, Colonel Ty.
I've seen how his wife treats him. She's
Yeah.
got him pegged.
Yeah.
So, on Kobol, on the way back with the medkit, Tarn gets got by some shooters on the ridge.
And Tarn has the reaction time of a grandma in an Oldsmobile here. Like, they are getting shot at for a good 5 seconds, where he's just like, what's going on? I need to wait for my blood packs to explode.
Yeah. Tyrell like picks him up and carries him away, doesn't he?
Tries to get
Yeah.
him to some cover, and Tarn
Yeah.
dies before anything can be done to help him, as Callie pulls Galen away to return to the group.
And whatever Cylons are shooting at them, just don't follow them.
I mean, yes, that's definitely what happens. We don't see them at all either. We have no idea what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I will say, this is advanced Cylon tactics, because where are the Cylons shooting from?
The high ground.
Top of a ridge,
The
right?
ridge, yeah.
Which means our people are below them. These are Cylons that can look down.
Oh, they figured it out.
Oh no. Well, the game has just changed if we can look down now. Oh no. Yeah, so back on Galactica, Gata's washing up and sees Duala. She tries to comfort him, it's not your fault. He is taking it hard, but then he looks at the soap and has an idea. Why the soap?
It's the soap next to the other soap, I think.
Yeah, I think he makes a little chain of soaps, maybe.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot.
And most of
about
the times when people make chains of soaps around me, it's before I get beat with soap in a sock.
I'm sorry, Ben.
Yikes. So earlier when we were talking about therapy.
What? That wasn't part of everybody's just growing up experience?
So, yeah. Gata is putting this all together here. The networked computers, we just have to network these computers and then it can do the math in 10 minutes. And his answer is to like hook up the nav and like the gunnery computers and all these other important sounding computers on the ship instead of like, and I'll just hook it up to like Baltar's computer that figures out if we're Cylons or not, and all these other ones that might be non-essential, please. It's like, no, he picks the ones that if they lose them to the Cylons, they're absolutely fucked.
You've got to believe that Gaius has a really good computer, right?
Yeah.
He's a giant nerd. He's
But
not
the-
going to accept
the
the
code in
minimum
there
processor.
is run 12 hours if 1 equal green, if 0 equal green. And it's like, if Gata looked at this, he'd be like, wait a minute, there's no actual code in here.
Yeah, we can't let Gata in that one. Like that's bad. I bet Gaius has the best of passwords. I bet he's been to Xhafer's password management school.
I firmly believe
I promise
that
he
his
hasn't.
password is Gaius is number 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Exclamation point.
Oh, it's so secure. It's got a number and a special character. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I have known enough people professionally like this who you set a temp password of like summer 2025 to,
Uh-huh.
and they just never fucking change it. And they'll tell you when you're on the phone with them. They'll like, just like, I know I typed my password right. It never changed it after you said it last time to summer 2024. And it's all like, motherfucker, it expired.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then you get, but you need to put a special character. And it's like, but my password is Gaius1, and Gaius is the most special character.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ben.
The second network the computers comes out of Gata's mouth, I'm just so suspect. I'm like, no, don't do it. That's so bad.
Kelly,
And that's
We
what
shouldn't
Kelly
do
is
it.
saying. He's just like, hell no.
he audibly harumphs.
Well, and he is correct that Adama would not want that.
100%. The old man
Would
would
not want it.
never do this. And he is ride or die for Adama's rules, which is a thing.
Which
yeah,
is
well,
why,
Daddy has great rules. Daddy
Well, I will
Adama's
also say,
always about
and
it.
this is something you guys have been publicly arguing about, as long as it's within the military chain of command, Adama is super lawful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to take that into consideration in any further alignment charts.
Okay, I will.
That's why I feel Commander Adama is lawful neutral. You follow the gosh darn chain in command, as long as I am the center of that chain of command.
I will take your feedback and probably forget it. But
I think by the next time we do this,
It'll be completely changed.
the answer
Yeah.
changes enough where it doesn't matter, Ben.
were we going to
Fair.
do it at the penultimate episode? Was that our...
We can
I
make
think
a
so.
point of doing it for the episode Ben comes back for next. I'll tell so you can participate. I'll tell you that now because I'll forget to remind you when we go to record. And I'll also forget to do it and not have answers. But I know you'll
Don't
be
worry.
prepared. So,
I'll be prepared. I'll do the
Yeah.
homework.
yeah.
So we get some more awful flashbacks here where Ty gets back into the fleet thanks to Major Adama. And then we get a moment I knew Laura was going to love where Gata, my boy, is just going like, man, I wish Baltar was here. I'm sure you could write better code.
Barf.
Well, but then Ty goes, I'd rather have you here than that shifty son of a bitch.
Oh,
Just
it's true. It's true. Like, I'm not super like into Colonel Ty because I feel problems there, especially because you can't seem to kick Ellen. But I did very much agree with him in this moment. Yes.
I knew, like, regardless of where he's at in your rankings, this bumped him up a few pegs.
Yeah. Oh, and also he does release Lee, sort of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lee is on parole. He agrees to be in the brig while off duty and not to do any light treason or insurrection when on duty.
He recognizes like is good pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need
We got
good
like
pilot.
7 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still shoot Cylons? Yeah? Okay.
Some of our pilots are less than 50 days at being pilot. Like they need big boy pilot to help.
Yeah. Gata builds a firewall and shows us the nice visual for the Cylons' progress in fucking with the networked computers.
When evil stands to conquer all, here's only hope, a firewall.
So we now have to survive 10 minutes.
Yep.
Fighting against the Cylons. And what do we launch, Laura?
The Vipers.
Yeah, we do.
Yep, the Galactic.
You've been listening to Cool Girls.
I mean, yeah.
Yep, they
I
jump.
only get so many of those left. So.
Yeah. Every time you're on here, we'll try to use the word Viper no matter what.
It's a compulsion now. Maybe I should go back to therapy.
No, you went 3 times. You're all good
You're
now.
all good.
It was
Ben.
a lot longer than that.
They jump back successfully. The base star is just hanging out. Ordnance is free. Viper's launched. The box is locked. The lights are on. Ben, it's fighting robots time.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
It's robot fighting time.
No,
to
they're
fair.
fighting robots. That was the I didn't do it
But they
exact
are
on-
also robot fighting.
it's, robot fighting is robots fighting each other. They're fighting robots.
It's true.
I
Yeah,
did it on
I
purpose. I, didn't
agree to
fuck
this,
up
yeah.
the battle bots, Ben. I want you
I
to know
know.
I didn't fuck it up. I did it on purpose.
I know.
It matters.
And I appreciate you. And while this is going on, Adama almost dies.
Yeah, this wasn't dramatic enough. They really needed this little extra bit.
Yeah. For some reason, we don't have the defibrillator in the room when we're doing the cardiac thing. It's like out in the hall or something.
I mean,
right?
maybe it's part of Gata's networked computers.
We need this essential computer, this essential computer, this
Mr.
essential
Gata, what is that
computer.
fucking beep, beep, beep? Sorry.
And the
fracking.
defibrillator. Yeah, so our medic is she's taking him under the knife.
Yep. The Cylons infiltrate the networked computers around 50%. He should have put a better Wi-Fi password than Soap Stack on, but here we are.
Hold on, I need to write that down for my next password ID.
I mean, I do subscribe to Gata's soap stack.
The guard in Rosalind's cell asks her to pray with him.
And calls her a prophet.
She uses this distraction to grab his gun, shoot him, and enter her Die Hard era crawling around the tubes of the ship.
That's not true, Xhafer.
I know. But imagine.
We know Rosalind. She doesn't shoot people. She throws them out airlocks.
Yeah,
It's the
that's
Rosalind
true.
special.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, though, Die Hard with her right now, just going around the ship, high on Kamala?
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting that we have this guard who is clearly, one of Adama's men wanting to pray with Rosalind. And I was like, that seems like it could be a problem later.
And this is the same dude who, arrested Lee. This dude is, around. He is, been here. This is no bullshit. He is Adama loyal, 100%. But at the same time, he's torn.
Yeah. This seems like it could be a problem. It seems like we're setting up maybe a problem.
Or just, at least there are people who are like, yeah, I trust Adama, but, not with my soul.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we get a weird spaceship.
A new type of Cylon ship. Ooh.
A lander.
Oh, we don't know that yet, but yes.
Yeah. Love it. Love a new season, new ship.
Yeah. They got a little bit extra in that CGI budget. Got to make a new model.
Yeah. We've got to show the people something up front to keep them watching. This is not compelling enough.
Right? There's not enough going on. This episode needs more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have we breached the second firewall yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they open Adama's chest and third firewall is down. It's just back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
And what does our medic have to do to keep Adama alive? Beat his heart for him.
I was going to say, are we doing the heart squeezy thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a Capri Sun, just ooh.
Don't put the straw in the forbidden Capri Sun.
Unless that's part of the thing. I don't know anything about heart surgery.
It's Husker flavored.
Is that just corn?
I think
Yeah,
it's just
well, corn syrup.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
That's probably why he has the heart problems, if we're being honest.
stuff's bad for you. That's what they say.
The fourth of the 5 firewalls goes down, but the calculations are complete with just a second to spare as Gata manually disconnects the network, and the Galactica jumps and has found the fleet.
Manually disconnecting the network is yanking the cord, right?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do this, and I've now mostly wanted to do this in a place where Xhafer works.
I have been in data centers that were being decommissioned where there were wires that weren't in use and you could just unplug them. And you know what we did, Ben?
Yank him?
We still didn't fucking unplug them just in case we needed to spin it back up again. Dear God, never unplug those cords.
Being in banking, having been in banking, one of the things they told you was if you think your computer has gotten a virus, unplug it right away. I don't know if that's a real thing, but I kind of wanted that to happen, not to me, obviously. It would never happen to me, but I wanted it to happen in my vicinity so I could yank somebody's cords out. Just need it. It's just so satisfying.
Just do it in your home laptop. And turning your computer off will stop a virus that has infected your operating system from fucking with your files. But the second you turn it back on, it's not going to matter too much. But there are ways to help and circumvent and work around that.
Yeah.
How mad were you at the end of this episode?
Oh, we're not there yet.
We got a little bit left.
We found the fleet, and everybody's like, yeah, and celebrating, and high fives all around. Gata, you did it. And nobody's like, hey, did a Cylon crash into us? It's not on fire. We have them talking about that. But nobody's just maybe we should send some dudes.
I think they say something about the breach at one point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they say it's not on fire. Oh, thank God. We did it. We saved the day.
Yeah.
And it's Cylon hit us.
Yeah.
Let's check that out.
Yeah. I mean, the two things you got to check first, right?
Yeah.
On fire,
Check.
venting stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you should probably actually check the site. Like, those are very important.
Yeah. The problem is the only person that they ever ask to do that shit is Tyrell.
Oh, yeah.
And without
Yeah,
Tyrell
yeah.
around, they don't have anyone to go ask to do it.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. I wonder if Tyrell perhaps hasn't, been mentoring his team correctly and, delegating down enough when these things happen. And no one has thought that, what would Tyrell do if we were here?
I'm also just wondering, why did they send Tyrell on the away mission?
Yeah, it's
He
so
has a
dumb.
very important job.
Yeah.
His job
That's
is
not explained, is it?
his job is keep Vipers working.
Like, I know why for where his plot is going, like why it's important for him to be there.
But we didn't give an
But there's no
excuse.
actual reason. No.
No.
Yeah. So before we end this episode, right? We have the medic doesn't want to do any more heart surgery, but Adama is critical. Coddle is on his way.
He's One Piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Ty goes to see him, tells him the doctor's on his way, and he starts getting all emotional. We have one more flashback. He's remembering, I assume he's in some sort of drunken stupor here.
Yeah.
Going to burn his stuff. And then Shore Patrol comes to welcome him back to the fleet, courtesy of Major Adama. And he feels really bad that Adama went out on that limb for him. Should have just let him rot.
Just let him die. Yeah.
And orders him not to die. Was he with Ellen at this time, we think, Ty?
Yes,
She's in the background
But
of
not-
some of these.
I don't think that was Ellen in the room with him.
Oh,
Yeah, I wondered.
okay.
I wondered
That
about
is
that.
my interpretation.
Because the
Because we had
vibe
the
I've
actress.
gotten,
We could have put her in a terrible Edward James Olmos mustache as well.
just dyed her hair a different color wig. Yeah.
I just want her to be like, who's there? And she's got the giant
mustache.
mustache.
Yeah. No, that would be very satisfying. Yeah, I wondered because the vibes I get off of Ellen are almost like Ty is falling apart in this scene. He's at his rock bottomiest.
Yeah.
I don't think Ellen is a woman who sticks around with a man in the rock bottomiest. She has gone to do something else, to try to scam somebody else, in my mind.
Quite possibly.
I don't know. I wonder if it'll come up. Probably not, but that's okay.
We'll see.
And then, yeah, oh no, BattleBots on the ship.
Yeah.
2 credits.
Bunch of Centurions getting out of that wreckage to creds. That's
Yeah.
the episode. Benjamin as our guest. You get to go ahead and rate this first on a scale of 1 to 12 colonies.
Well, last time I rated an episode 13. I wanted to rate it 14, but I didn't want to be like, haha, you're going to find Kobold.
So now you can. They found Kobold.
Now I could.
Although I think I said that giving it a Kobold was a 0
Yeah,
instead
it's
of a 13.
wrapping back around.
Yeah.
It's like the snake eating its tail.
Yeah. All happened before, happen again,
This isn't as good as 33. There is a lot of incident in this episode. There is a lot going on, and I enjoy a lot of what it's setting up. So I'm going to give this a very solid 10 out of 12.
Okay. Laura?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any story complaints except for Chief Tyrell.
I got wig
Why?
complaints.
Yeah.
But
No, I love those. They're hysterical. I had a good laugh. So, not really any marks against it. Was very dramatic. Great opener. Added a couple things. Okay, Kelly being added the way he was, kind of funny. I don't know. I feel like maybe let's start out at a 10.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
I'm a little less high on this episode. It's
okay.
very jam-packed, and there's a lot more breathing room that happens in the next couple of episodes. And I think I would have appreciated some of that here, but this is still the era of weekly television, so I feel like you got to do this now and then have all that to keep people tuning in. Like, I get that.
Yeah, you need to make the splash when you come back from a long
It's just
time away.
It just doesn't vibe with like my current TV sensibilities, where a lot of stuff is, 20-hour arcs over 20 hours instead of 5-hour arcs in an hour, and then you take your time somewhere else. That said, it's still great. I just would have appreciated maybe a little bit moved over to the next one. Maybe not resolve as much as you did here, and leave a little bit for, push it all down, push another couple things down from next episode. I don't know. I'm going to say a 8 out of 12. Still a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well above average.
All right.
Well, next week we've got season 2, episode 2, Valley of Darkness. Ty has to work with Lee to defeat a Cylon boarding party that threatens to take over Galactica and destroy the fleet. Oh.
And we don't have our best sniper, S-Bucks.
Yeah, Starbee's nowhere
Starbee's.
around.
So how many hours do we think have passed in between this episode and the next? It's got to be like very minimal time, right?
Like from the start of this episode?
No, I mean like, so we end and the BattleBots are getting off.
Oh.
Like till they figure out the BattleBots are there. Can't be that long, right?
No, I don't believe it's that long.
Yeah, I love it. I love when we're like, no time is passing.
It's 24,
Boop, yeah,
beep,
I guess.
Boop, beep. We should really do that for some LTO at some point.
Oh,
I've
God,
never
that would
seen
be
24 if you
freaking
need someone to
unhinged.
sub in. Yeah.
Be something fun.
That's a fun
at some
idea.
point.
I like it.
Well, I don't get to pick the next season, Ben. You do. And after this airs, this will have aired by the time you
We've
have
already
announced.
started Cobra.
So, yeah, we would have already started Cobra or whatever you pick. So I guess I'll know soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I know by the time you're listening to this, except
Yeah.
for Aaron, of course, who we have to say thank you to for editing this episode.
Also, Xhafer, when you're going to say Cobra, put some on the name. Come on.
Do cobras hiss like vipers?
So,
They are venomous. But-
yeah.
Okay. I've never interacted with a cobra, so I don't know.
I've seen them at the zoo, and that's about all I can handle.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah, that's real.
But thank you, Aaron, for editing this podcast.
Yeah.
We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. You're
Indeed.
doing it a little out of order. So, we'll just go ahead and throw Jeremy Siegel. Thanks so much for our theme music. Appreciate the hell out of it. You can find more of Jeremy's work, jeremysiegel42.bandcamp.com, and on streaming services as Nuclear Jaguar.
I don't listen to much of my own podcasts because, like, A, lack of time, right?
Yeah.
And B, I was already here and I did it once. So,
Yeah.
But
I don't get it. I have to listen to every single podcast I've ever been on at least once.
Duh.
I don't know how you guys are able to do that.
I don't, but I did listen to a couple of recent episodes, and the way that theme flows into our energy is very satisfying. So
Awesome.
just want to say that.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah. And thanks to Angry Duck Time Machine on Instagram for our podcast artwork.
Yeah. And, if you want to hang out some more, go jump in the Discord. We got a great community over there.
Mhm.
It's been a lot of fun. Ben, we should probably plug Last Time On. Ben and I
Yes,
host another
please.
podcast on the network. It airs on Tuesdays. It's Last Time On. We jump around TV like we were just talking about without context of the full show. It is a lot of fun. You should join us over there.
And if you want to hear the better version of that show, on Thursdays you can check out Cruel Girls Don't Look at Explosions,
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. That's very kind.
where you get to talk about America the Jeep.
Not for much longer, though. And actually, I'm not sure America to the Jeep is in it anymore. It's so sad.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if they got
America the
they got
Jeep lives in our hearts.
That's a t-shirt. All right. We'll see you next week, Internet.
Bye.